I think that he was starting to realize that maybe I was catching on, because I got a call from him. He called me on Mother's Day. It was a Sunday morning at my home. He said, "I want to ask you something." And I said, "Yeah, okay." And I kid you not, he asked me about 8 times, "What do you know? What do you know, Adrian?"
That was the question. What do you know?
What do you know? I was starting to get really, really frightened. I was scared to tell him anything. I was terrified of him. The first time I cleaned his bedroom, I didn't even know where to start. I noticed that there were a lot of little boys. That's all that would hang around there. You wouldn't see like little girls. And I knew the little boys were there. When they would arrive, they would put their clothes in a suitcase in his room. I started realizing, thinking, wondering, when he was taking baths with them, they were sleeping in his bed.
But there's sleeping and there's sleeping.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're talking about the worst kind of sleeping with children.
Yes. I know the truth. I was there. And when I would go in the next day, there were little boys' underwears either on the floor with Michael's, or they were in the jacuzzi.
So you were suspicious as soon as you saw that?
Yeah, I got suspicious. And then I would find underwears also in his bed. I did find underwears that were men's briefs in the walk-in closet. And they were, I don't like to say this, they were like crunchy, hard, with yellow stains all over them. I didn't know who they belonged to, because the little boys started wearing Michael's briefs, and they would leave their underwears inside his drawer. There was a lot of Vaseline at Neverland. Sometimes it was found in the golf carts when Mr. Jackson would take off with the boys.
Vaseline?
Yeah, Vaseline. And there was a lot of Vaseline in Michael's bedroom. It was actually all over the ranch.
Is there possibly an innocent explanation for that?
I don't think so. They were sitting on his laps, the kids. I just saw a lot of maybe fondling, him maybe rubbing his hands in kids' hair, kissing them.
When you say fondling?
Hugging, kind of petting the kids.
Patting the kids where?
Kind of by the rear end. I didn't think it was appropriate because they're not his children, you know? I just didn't think it was right.
Did you ever talk to anybody about it?
You know, I signed a confidentiality agreement, and I was already conditioned and programmed, you don't question it. And we were told to stay away from the family. You're just a maid, you do your job.